SGC here, we're back for a movie review. Again, thanks to Fox International Channel. This time we got Yip Man, directed by Wilson Yip. Yip Man is a 2008 Hong Kong semi-biographical martial arts film very loosely based on the life of Yip Man, a grandmaster of the martial art Wing Chun and the master of Bruce Lee. The film focuses on events in Yip's life that supposedly took place in the city of Foshan during the Sino-Japanese War. If you didn't know, Yip Man stars Donnie Yen as Yip Man, and Lynn Hung is the martial arts choreographer for this film. And for the rest of the cast, look down below. So what do I like about this film? Well, first off, I think, like I said, for all the films that I've done through this Fox International Channel thing, is that rewatching this really showed why this movie was great. Like, I think Donnie Yen really owned the character as Yip Man, and the way that he carries himself is just really, really great. And also, the pacing of this movie is done really well in terms of the fight scenes. I think that they start off very, rather lazily, as he's just bouting with people that he doesn't really care about, and as things escalate, it gets more intense and more intense and more intense. But there's still story throughout these fights. It's not just a fight movie. Rather, it's trying to enlarge the scope of what this martial art thing is to Chinese people, and what Foshan is with martial arts, and what kind of person Yip Man is, and those around him, and how they see martial art, period. Now, in terms of supporting cast, I think Simon Yam, who plays his sort of like, I guess, old best friend, and Lynn Hung, who plays his wife, and Gordon Lam playing this police commissioner, they all did well for what they got. Simon Yang does have that atmospheric of just like buddy, you know, trying to help you out sort of thing. I was rather impressed with Lynn Hung's acting here, as she plays this really conflicted wife, as in she like really supportive of Yip Man, but she doesn't show it, and she cares about her son sort of thing. And then this progression of her character, I think her character changed a lot throughout the movie as the whole Sino-Japanese War thing happened. Gordon Lam, as always, is awesome as supporting cast, the way he carries himself as police commissioner. Also, we have Hiroyuki Ikeuchi, who plays like general sort of guy in this whole conflict here. He is pretty badass Japanese general. So yeah, with acting, this movie is fine. And I would say the highlight definitely is Donnie Yen, who's playing Yip Man. I really appreciate the contrast and tone from the beginning of the movie and the latter half when the war starts happening. The grayness really affects how the tone of the movie, as in like now it's hard times as people really are struggling to survive, and that such a striking contrast really shows how bad like war was to them, and how great they were before the war. And I really enjoy this contrast as to just show how bad wars can be. Now, with all that said, we have to go to the best thing that everyone remembers about this film: the fight scenes. So yeah, basically Wing Chun, I don't think anyone knew much about it like as normal audiences until this movie came out, and then I think everyone knew what Wing Chun is and who Yip Man was, and it was just crazy. Like, the fight sequences was pretty crazy, the way that it was filmed. It was a very intense, different style of fighting, and I think the only biggest thing I have against this film is that there wasn't enough fight scenes. But, I mean, the way that it was paced, it's done well, but I think when you remember this film as a fighting film and just a loosely based on the life of Yip Man film, you would sort of just remember the fights and not much of the story. And I realized when I rewatched this, there was a lot more story happening than the actual fight scenes, because it was just like, yeah, where's that crazy fight? And it's just, yeah, there isn't that many fight scenes. But it's not a bad thing per se, but I just wish there was more, because watching Donnie Yen doing his Wing Chun thing is pretty intense. And yeah, and that's not even a really bad thing, because, I mean, there has to be a balance between story and just action, and I think they got it well. And yeah, so nothing much about this film was bad. Now, in terms of historical accuracy, obviously there's a lot of things up in the air, and I don't really know much about it, but I know that for sure things that didn't happen in real life, for sure. I mean, so yeah, basically this is the movie. There was good acting, good action, and there was like a nice plot to wrap it all up in. And yeah, so watch Yip Man if you haven't. Definitely check it out. It's one of the classics for sure. And 2008 hasn't been out that long. I mean, watching it now doesn't hamper the experience whatsoever at all. So yeah, as always, leave your comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And this is it for the movie review of Yip Man.